Welcome back to the Ironman challenge. So, when we left off, we were attempting to run interference in between the Vagiers and the Nords, because of course we want to get into as many vassal battles as we can at the moment. Anyway, as you can see right here, we have Jarl Turagor, who is currently being... shall I just say that we all want to be his friend, at least initially, and then we want to murder him very, very badly indeed, and take all of his renown. Yeah, if only you could do that. That would be actually pretty cool. You know, just draw the renown out of someone and, you know, have a grand old time that way. But no, that's not going to happen. Anyway, we're going to continue onward here in our journey to not die. And that is Jarl Turagor himself. I don't exactly know whether I... Okay, never mind. I was going to say, I don't know whether I want to attack him myself, because he is then going to not really like us, but I think that is not a part of native. I think native doesn't have the whole, you know, if you eliminate that lord, he's not going to like you thing. So I guess that's actually pretty nice, because then I don't have to worry about losing relation with potential allies in the future, you know. So that's hopefully going to stay the way it is. Oh yeah, let's take all of these prisoners. That is exactly what I want to have happen right here. Any of these guys that we can get is going to be adding to our overall monetary value. And it actually matters. Like, that's the thing. Every single decision that you make in an Ironman challenge always has a significant impact. And it doesn't even matter whether it's a small decision. It's always going to matter in some way or another. And it seems really weird to say that, because whenever I'm usually doing a series in Warband, in any mod, I'm always like, okay, well, this decision doesn't really matter. But actually, in the Ironman challenge, that kind of same decision making is going to matter in the end, which I think is really, really cool. And that's exactly the reason why it's a really cool challenge. Anyway, yeah, we're going to get some relation with Boyar Vlan here. And, ooh, here we go. Okay, so as we spoke about previously in the series, this kind of response is something that you definitely want to take prisoner, because he is cursing this day. He's a bad personality, whatever it may be. Don't exactly know what it is, but yeah, I think basically you can tell what it is, but I can't remember offhand. There are four, as far as I'm aware, 4 bad personalities, and yeah, I think that's pretty good. So we're going to be able to take this guy prisoner, and he is going to be giving me some money, or at least I hope that he will give us some money if they don't make peace, and then, you know, he automatically goes back to his friends, which would not be too good. But yeah, anyway, Artimena. Artimena has leveled up. Very nice indeed. Okay, let's level him up then. And we'll get him. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's what I want to see. So give me some more engineering right here. Give me some more tactics. And we're just gonna continue leveling up his intelligence. I think next level we're probably gonna get him probably some strength. I think strength is probably gonna be a good idea, because that is then going to enable him to use the siege crossbow. And at the moment he doesn't really have anything that is going to be super useful for him in terms of his equipment. So that's definitely gonna make a big difference. All right, so let's go down to Raven, because I do have some iron in my inventory right now, and it would probably make sense for us to put that into the ironworks real quick, and then we'll move on to finding some more vassals, because that's exactly what I want to do. There we go. We got some iron in there just in time, basically, because otherwise they were not going to be able to produce as much or as lucratively. Lucratively? Is that even a word? Is that even a word? No, I don't think so. Anyway, as you know, as nicely as they would otherwise be able to. Otherwise, I should really just check to make sure that I'm not missing out on anything really, really good in my marketplaces here. Strong longbow. This strong longbow is pretty decent, but it is not as good as a warbow, so I won't be getting it. But it is decent. So if you need something like a bow, then it's a good, decent option, you know. Okay, so let's go into the tavern here. Might be a ransom broker. There's a hired blade. Actually, unsure whether I want to take these guys. Yeah, okay, I'm going to take these guys. Pretty cheap, good, solid units. Not too bad. And otherwise, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? Okay, so I have sold all of my salt that I purchased in the Khergit Khanate area. So let's move over to Nord territory. It actually seems as though we have some allies coming with us. And look at this, we've got Boyar Mariga, Krahask, Gastia, and Marmoon here. And they're going to be attacking some village farmers because that's what they're supposed to do. And I'm going to look for some easy pickings in terms of some hopefully relatively weakened vassals. I don't really want to fight... Oh, hello. I don't really want to fight anything super weak because, let's face it, I'm not particularly wanting to be a bully here. I just really want to try and take advantage of the fact that we're at war against these guys and we can hopefully get some renown. Renown is really very important. Okay, so how fast is he traveling? Wait, we're traveling faster than him. Can we make it? No. No, we can't. Okay, that is kind of unfortunate. I would have loved to have fought that guy because he actually had Rodok units. That was a Rodok defector. And that would have given us a good opportunity to sort of wise up and see exactly what's going on with Rodoks because, as I say, I haven't really fought the Rodoks in a long time. And it would be a really nice idea to check them out. But anyway, Albert Castle, not entirely sure why people aren't trying to take that back. But I guess, okay. Can't really do much about it now. So I guess we're just going to have to leave it. And I'm actually kind of intrigued as to where our Vagia vassals are going to be heading at the moment. So let's stick with them a little bit. And who knows, maybe I'll be able to... Nords have taken Wurchek. Well, I wouldn't be able to defend against an overwhelming amount of units, so I guess that's how it's going to go. But, okay, I'm actually... Right. Yes, okay. Isn't that hilarious? As soon as I take one of them prisoner, boom, there you go. All of the prisoners just gone out of my prisoner's hold. That's exactly what happens when factions make peace. But I was just about to say that I think what would be a really cool idea, and I was actually planning on doing this if something like that were to happen, where Wurcheg was going to be taken or something. And I was going to go and speak to King Yaroglek, and I was going to be like, hey, Mr. King person, I would like to be able to become a vassal with your faction. And then I was going to be like, okay, I'll go and take Wurcheg for myself, because then if I take Wurcheg, then he's going to probably give it to me, and then we're going to be doing really well, because we have a town, and we have a garrison, and all that stuff, and it really does make a huge difference in the grand scheme of things. So let's have a look. He's traveling to Raverden, and he's close to Albert Castle. All right, so let's see. Raverden is here, so he should be coming down through this bridge in just a second. There he is. Is that him? No. Is that him? No. Okay. Well, where is he? Oh, there he is. Oh, no, that's... Oh, yeah. Now they're coming out of the woodwork. I would have liked to have fought this guy quite badly. Okay, well, there's King Yaroglek, so I suppose we can talk to him anyway. Yes. Okay, so I suppose what we are going to do... Oh, my informants tell me that some of your companions have been telling the peasants that you have a claim to the throne. I sincerely hope that they have been acting without your orders. Yes, I'm sure they have. Okay, do you have any tasks? Ooh, I will hunt him down and execute the law. Yes, I will surely do that. That is actually something I would like to do. I know this seems like a pretty weird thing to do this sort of late in the game, but you've got to remember that these quests provide a significant amount of honor, and we kind of do need some honor right now. So I'm going to go very quickly over to Udiniad here, and maybe we'll fight some Sea Raiders along the way. Look at this. We've got loads of Sea Raiders in the area. Look at this. 23, 32. Maybe we can get a whole bunch of them in the same battle. I would like to be able to get maybe a bunch in the same one. Maybe? Yeah. Yes. Yes. This is what we need. No, never mind. Okay. Just going to chase after the 39. I think I am faster than them. Yes, I am. All right. This is going to be good. I'm actually hoping that they would bring someone with them, but I don't think that's going to happen. And there's another 1,600 for us right there. My mercenary payment is not exactly that much, so me becoming a vassal is probably going to be a good thing to do, because let's face it, being a mercenary, I think it's a good idea to be a mercenary if you want to move quickly on to the next goal, basically. I'm actually just going to charge straight on in here because I would like to be able to win this battle relatively quickly. And I got to be careful here. Got to be really careful. I got to remember that I'm playing on really high settings, and you know, most of the time I'm playing on, you know, either normal or half, you know, something like that. But generally, I'm never really playing with an Ironman sort of rule set, so it is still something difficult. Anyway, these are my settings as well, if you want to take a look at them. And otherwise, let's just try and take some of these guys prisoner. And I also need to try and find a charger horse. I've continued to try and find one, but I just can't for some reason. Don't know why that's happening. Maybe I'll just have to fold and buy a war horse or something like that. But the problem with that is that the war horse does not have as much armor as the charger. The charger, as far as I'm aware, has 58 armor. And I believe that the war horse has quite a bit less than that, so that's definitely something to bear in mind. Otherwise, let's just take all of this. I'm hoping that some of my people actually start leveling up now. Yes, they are starting to level up. Ellil and Clethy both leveled up, which is really nice. So Ellil has 15 strength now, as we know. So I'm going to continue leveling up his charisma now, because we are getting to the point where we might very well be able to create our own faction, really just dependent on opportunity. And that's exactly also the reason why I didn't pledge my vassalage almost immediately to King Yaroglek, because there could be an opportunity coming up for us that would be significantly better. And now with Clethy, I'm not going to continue leveling up her agility just yet, because I'd like to get her to, again, 10 strength so that she can actually use a crossbow. And otherwise, we want to get her, well, we want to get her trainer skill, don't we? Trainer skill is going to be very useful for her. And is there anything else that I really want to get her? Not particularly, apart from looting. So we're just going to get her trainer. Let's level up our crossbow, and there we go. Okay, so that is pretty good. And we've got some ransoms that we can potentially do too. How long do I have for this? 29 days. That's easily enough. No problem at all there. And there's a whole bunch of Sea Raiders in this area too. I wonder whether the Sea Raider landing is back up and running. Not seeing it. Oh, well, that's kind of weird. Oh, well, never mind. Let's go into the tavern, see if there's a ransom broker here. If there is, then we're going to be very lucky. No, just... yeah, Wandering Bard. Wandering Bard is pretty good. As I said beforehand, we are going to need all the poems that we can if we're going to become married to someone. And we'll see how that goes. Ooh, Suno is now besieged by the Rodox. What a daring maneuver that is. Very, very daring indeed. I probably would... Yeah, yeah, the Rodox are going to have a lot of units there. So that's definitely something to be aware of. Also something that you may want to take advantage of as well. So if it's in your game and the Rodox are doing something like that, then you may want to consider going over there and being like, hello, I'm going to steal the town from you as soon as you've taken it. You know what I mean? So if you're at war against the Rodox in that particular instance and you are a vassal, you can take advantage of it in that way. That's the kind of opportunity that I'm talking about here as well. Alright, it's actually nighttime, so I won't be able to find the nervous man at the moment. You need to wait until daytime to actually find him, unfortunately. And Boyar Mamoon is now fighting a bunch of Sea Raiders. Absolutely fine for him to do that. And let's go into the village center. Should be pretty easy to find the nervous man. Is that him? Yeah, nervous man. Hello. Okay, I'm going to bonk you on the head real quick. Yes, I have bonked many with my mace or my military hammer. Oh yeah, someone actually asked me what it is, what my weapon actually is, because I haven't shown it for a while. So there is the weapon I'm using. It's fantastic, highly recommended from me, especially in the early mid game, and then towards the sort of late game when you're doing sieges all the time. It's probably a good idea to upgrade this into a Morningstar or something like that. And by upgrade, I mean just buy a Morningstar. That's probably going to be a good idea. Okay, so we have completed this task. And I'm just very quickly going to... Yeah, so the Warhorse, as you can see, someone said that I should just go for it and just get the Warhorse. Yeah, okay. Granted, I think that's probably a good idea if you really just want to get an upgraded horse, because you can see here that the armor disparity is so incredible. Just look at it. 13 armor in comparison to 43. But the charger horse just generally has much more than that, and that's exactly the reason why I'm kind of holding out for that, because I really want to get the best horse possible. And I'm not gonna try and get a champion charger or anything like that, because that's just a little bit too min-maxy for me at the moment, and maybe later down the line if I spot one, then I'll buy it. But a champion charger is going to be so incredibly expensive that I probably wouldn't be able to afford it anyway. So there's also that. Otherwise, let's level up to Shavi here. Finally, she has 12 in intelligence, so we can actually start leveling up her pathfinding and spotting. That's going to be so incredibly useful as we go forward, because it's going to enable us to see enemies in the nighttime that much better. So let's go into Kuro. I'm actually wondering where where King Yaroglek actually is. As I think he's probably in Ravenden, isn't he? Oh, and this is a fantastic thing to take to Ravenden. Thank you very much. So there's 665 dinars right there. And let's go into Ravenden and just got to make sure I'm not missing out on King Yaroglek's presence here. Ah, there he is. He's actually right there. That's fantastic. Okay, everything's coming up pretty well right now. It's going quite nicely. Let's just put all of our iron in there. That's enough for 2.5 weeks worth of goods. And let's go into the tavern just in case. Doesn't seem like there's anything there. Let's go into the castle and we will speak to King Yaroglek. Who is this? Hello there. Who are you? You are wife to Boyar Belgaru. Okay, well, that's fine then. Okay, so let's speak to King Yaroglek and we will say that we found him, and I'm not going to accept it because I want the honor rather than the money. And we are then going to become a vassal. I know. I should probably go and scout out Wurcheg first, because that's generally going to be a better idea. But if you become a vassal, and I think you can do this in native, I'm not entirely sure, but whatever the case, there are going to be a number of different scenarios that we can use to springboard ourselves from being a vassal into being a liege. And I will get into those as we go forward in our plan here. There are, I think, 2-3 different ways that you can go from being a vassal and make your own faction straight up. So we'll see if we can maybe pull that off at some point. But anyway, we are going to say that we love this guy with all our heart, and we are now going to be getting something. Did he give me anything? Did he give me any villages? I actually have no idea whether he actually did. Ah, Shapesht. Oh dear. Shapesht. That's something that gets... Oh no, wait, yeah, it's looted. Of course it is. I mean, we can kind of expect that by now, that it is going to be looted almost every time. There's a regular warhorse. Right. Okay, so I'm thinking that we're probably going to go over to Wurcheg. So now, here's the thing. These are the scenarios that you can attempt to do if you are a vassal and you want to become a liege straight up of your own faction. And so basically what you can do is, if like me, you might have an opportunity to take something that has a small garrison or a weakened garrison with low quality troops, then you're going to be able to attack a village farmer. So let's say that there's a village farmer right here and I attack them, but I don't actually go into battle with them. I just say that I want to take all their goods and so on and so forth. So like, let's say I speak to these guys and I say, we'll see how poor you are after I take what you've got. And that's going to reduce my relation with the Kingdom of Nords by 3 or however much it is. And that's going to enable me to... Yeah. Right, yes. That is going to enable me to basically besiege Wurcheg straight up. And it's going to be extremely, extremely good. So, you know what we're going to do? Yeah, I'm a bit worried about this. I'm at max HP. I've only got 65 HP, to be honest. I feel like that's not enough for an Ironman challenge. I feel like I should spec much more into strength, but can't really do much about it now. So we're just going to do this. This is, by the way, on realistic saving. I can't reload after this is happening. I can't do anything about that. I can't change it. This is what we're going with. Okay, so now you can see that I did reduce the relation with the farmers and indeed with Nords. And now, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go in here, we're going to besiege the town, and we are going to take this. Thankfully, Artimena has 5 in engineering, and it's going to take 6 hours to build the ladders. Now, I'm hopeful that because they're... Yep, there we go. Done. That's it. Oh my. I'm actually really, really excited about this because I really didn't think that we would have an opportunity to take Wurcheg at such an early opportunity. And amusingly enough, this was actually the town that I started my faction with all those years ago in the original playthrough of Barney Beartilt, you know, in the original playthrough of Native, all the way back when I had no idea what I was doing most of the time. And still don't somehow. You know, sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. Anyway, let us go in and take Wurcheg from the Nords. Now, the cool thing about being a vassal and being able to potentially take something... Oh yeah, by the way, I have to be extremely careful about staying alive here myself. I have to be extremely, extremely careful. And I'm talking about really careful, because if I die here, that's a game over. That is a game over. That is the kind of thing we're going with here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my Vaegir archers and marksmen at the back here so that they can just thin out some of the opponent. But as I was saying, there is a very cool thing about being a vassal and attacking a faction that is not at war with your current faction, if you know what I mean. So basically what it means is, if you are, well, doing like I'm doing now and attacking the Nords, or in general attacking anyone, and your faction is not at war with them, and you take it, if you take, you know, let's say I'm actually successful and I actually end up taking Wurcheg, and then it is mine, or then it is technically the under the control of the Vaegirs, the Nords can't do anything. They can't do anything to you because they are theoretically not at war against the Vaegirs. So, in other words, you have absolutely free reign to do whatever it is you want to do with that particular fief, if it is given to you. And that's the only thing that is a bit of a risk, because, of course, then you're not going to be able to enter any of the Nord territories in my case, and it is going to be one of those things where you're going to, you know, just be a pariah in all of those towns, and the vassals might even attack you on sight because they are thinking that you're a rogue vassal and they really don't like you at all. So yeah, that's basically it. There you go. So that is a bit of an advantage on my side here. So that's pretty good. But otherwise, let's see how it goes. I'm a bit worried. I am a bit worried about this for a variety of different reasons, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to sell all of that, and I'm going to request that this be awarded to us. I am going to request this because we did the work, you know, we barely lost any units, and I am extremely surprised that I was actually able to pull it off so easily, because as I said, I actually thought that Wurcheg was going to have a much more significant garrison than it actually did. We're going to go into the tavern here real quick, and I'm actually going to do something that I never usually do, but I'm going to buy everyone a beer in the tavern here, because I would like my relation with my potential town to be a little bit increased, because as you can see, I have -1 with it at the moment. So there you go. So we have now taken Wurcheg, but it is not currently ours just yet. It is still under control of the Vaegirs, and it is, you know, being decided as to who is going to take control of it. But if I navigate over to my faction relations here, you can see that the Kingdom of Nords are resentful towards me specifically. They are not actually at war against the Vaegirs. So if I am, you know, perfectly safe, if I'm just standing, waiting here for some time in Wurcheg, I cannot be attacked at this time, even with a 0 garrison. So this is a very, very useful way of going about creating your own faction if you can do it. If you can find a garrison that is really, really weak, like I did just now, and then you have the opportunity to do it. Look at this. Look at this. There we go. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so now I'm now going to detail the other route that this could have potentially taken. So basically, what can happen is one of two things. King Yarraglek can be really nice, or whoever liege you have, can be really nice, and they can decide to give you the particular fief, which is what he is doing in this particular situation. But the other option is for him to basically be like, no, I'm not going to give you this because you don't deserve it for whatever reason, even though you took it yourself. So he could decline. He could say, no, you're not going to get this. I'm going to take this for myself, or one of my other vassals is going to take it, and so on and so forth. He could say that. But if he does do that, then you should, I'm not entirely sure whether this is a part of Diplomacy, which is a submod for Warband, or whether it is actually a part of Native. But if it is a part of Native, then what you can end up doing is you can say, okay, I'm not going to accept your judgment on this. I'm going to basically revoke my rights as a vassal of King Yarraglek and then become my own faction. And that's how you would springboard yourself from being a vassal into being your own faction, because that's what people generally tend to do most of the time if you are playing a different mod, like maybe if you're playing Pendor or something with Diplomacy. I think it is actually a Diplomacy only option, I think. Don't quote me on this. I haven't really done that kind of thing in a while in Native, and so I might be misremembering things, but I do know that you can do that if you have taken a significant number of fiefs. So let's say, for example, I then go and right now, and I go and I take Albert Castle, and I take Sargoth, and I take Tyr, and I take all of the territory of the Nords. I mean, let's face it, that's not realistic, but let's say I actually do that. Then I request that I want every single one of those from, King Yarraglek. And I say to him, yeah, I want all of these. And he goes, no, you can't have all of these. You can only have Albert Castle, and you can't have Sargoth, and you can't have Tyr. Let's say he says that. And then when it comes up saying that he is not going to give me Sargoth, for example, then I have the opportunity to desert the faction and become my own faction. So that's technically what you could do. You could do it that way. So that might be an idea. But as I say, I'm not entirely sure if that works without the Diplomacy submod, which it might very well not, which in that case is going to be a little bit difficult. But what you could then do instead, and this is why I said that there are 2 or 3 different ways to create your own faction from being a vassal. The only other way that you can probably do it is basically what you could do is right now. So let's say another hypothetical situation here. Let's say I take Sargoth, and Sargoth is then not given to me, and I have the opportunity to say, okay, I'm going to leave, you can take all of my fiefs away from me, and that's it. So you just leave the faction straight up. And then if you leave the faction, then what do? Well, basically what you do before that, in preparation for a potential, decision like that. Let's say he doesn't rule in your favor. So what you then do is you take all of your guys out of your garrison and you leave the garrison at 0. And then what you do is you declare war against, the person or, the faction that wronged you previously. So let's say in this case, King Yarraglek and the Vaegirs, and then you attack your previous fiefs yourself, and then you create your own faction that way. So they basically would have a 0 garrison. That is very risky, however, because there might be a couple of, opportunistic vassals in the area that would then decide to maybe steal your stuff really, really quickly. So that is a bit of an issue there. But yeah, those are the ways that you can create your own faction from being a vassal. But thankfully, we don't have to do that just yet. We can still have the protective umbrella of King Yarraglek and the Vaegirs over us at the moment, and we don't have to worry about it at all. Let's go into the tavern here. I was hopeful that there might be a ransom broker, but it seems like that's not going to happen. I know that I'm spending 2,000 to be able to improve my relations with Wurcheg here, but I kind of just wanted to do that just to get us back to 0 and indeed neutral. We still have a pretty decent amount of cash, and we are going to be getting even more cash from Wurcheg itself. I'm actually going to be ending the episode off very soon, but first off, I wanted to show you the amount of money that we're going to gain. There it is. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That is insane. Absolutely insane. We're getting literally, what is it, like 19,000 alone from Wurcheg itself. Just crazy. Just absolutely crazy. So there you go. We now have 25,000 cash. We currently still do not have a charger horse, which I'm going to continue trying to search for that. And we could also technically buy some additional gear, but I'm going to be looking for some very specific gear and hopefully get the best possible gear for weight to armor ratio, because I do not want to be slow. And slowness is a pretty big factor of potentially dying. So I'm hopeful that I won't suffer too much at the hands of, being that slow. But otherwise, as I said, we are not at war against anyone. The Nords cannot possibly even take Wurcheg from us at this time. So technically I could leave Wurcheg's garrison at 0. And I could continue to walk around and do things, whatever I want to do. But in my off-screen time, what I'm going to do, and I'll tell you now, I'm going to put all of these units, with the exception of my Swadian man-at-arms. So I'm going to just run around with some Swadian man-at-arms and maybe some footmen as well. About 20 or so units I'll take. And I'll put everyone else in the garrison here. And I will just go around to every single village that I can in the Vaegirs area. And then I'm going to swing all the way down through Dirim and go to the Rodok territory and try and recruit as many Rodoks as possible. And then I'll level them up into like their base level of crossbowmen, because they're going to be the best defenders for Wurcheg, I believe, even though Wurcheg does have a very short, shall we say, attack distance, because you saw when we besieged it just now that it was extremely easy to besiege it and get into the battlements without any problems whatsoever. And usually crossbowmen are much better when it comes to siege tower defense, because then they're going to have a lot of time to, shoot their crossbows. But otherwise, that will be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching and for your support on this series so far, and I will see you next time.